Just kidding. Who's at the office? Who's at the office if you guys are here? Just don't answer that question.
I think they're all from Anne Arundel.
Please come to order. Good morning. Welcome to Commissioner St. Mary's County meeting this date, Tuesday, it's January 10th, 2021. 23. I've gone back a couple years. I am Randy Guy, President Commissioner St. Mary's County. I'd like to introduce the other commissioners sitting to my right, representing the 1st Commissioner District, which includes Ridge, Piney Point, St. George's Island, Mr. Eric Colvin.
Good morning.
Representing the 2nd Commissioner District, which includes Leonardtown, Hollywood, Mike Hewitt.
Good morning.
Sitting to my left, representing the 3rd Commissioner District, which includes Charlotte Hall, 7th District, Golden Beach, and Mechanicsville, Mr. Mike Alderson Jr.
Good morning.
Representing the 4th Commissioner District, which includes Lexington Park, some of California, Great Mills, and some of Hollywood, Mr. Scott Ostro.
Good morning.
David Weisskopf, our interim county attorney, is sitting at the table to my left.
Morning.
Sitting to the table to my right is our communications director, Jenna Guzman.
Good morning.
Amy Carter, our media producer, is behind the glass. Please turn your cell phones off or on vibrate. When you come to the presenters table, please approach by coming down the center aisle. And remember, this meeting is being televised, so you need to speak clearly and directly into the microphone for recording purposes. In other words, look good. At this time, please stand. We have the invocation and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this new year coming up, for our new commissioners, 2 of them, and the 3 that just followed on, that we serve the people of St. Mary's County to the best of our ability. And may everybody in our community be blessed with a productive year coming up. Amen. Amen. Join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Please be seated. Next, I need the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now we have a couple of commendations to do this morning. One is for a longtime prosecutor with the Mr. Theodore Weiner. Come forward.
And county attorney.
And county.
Yeah. Didn't mean to spoil it.
Former whiner, and whiner.
We'll get you
Get in the middle there, Ted.
How you doing? Good seeing you.
that?
Right in the center here. Am I on, Mike? Okay, good. No, it wasn't. I got a little bit of it on anyway. Okay, for 30, the Commissioner of St. Mary's County officially commends Theodore Weiner for 30 years and 8 months of outstanding, praiseworthy, and dedicated service with St. Mary's County government from June 11, 1980 to December 31st, 2022. Through your diligence, dedication, and relentless pursuit of excellence, you have rightfully earned the community's gratitude, respect, and admiration. We hereby express our sincere congratulations on this occasion of your retirement and extend best wishes for your future endeavors and ask God's blessing upon you. January 10th, 2023. We got to record that.
Okay. Appreciate this commendation from the county. Had to add a few historical facts. I spent the decade of the 1980s as a part-time assistant county attorney and county attorney. Worked for George Odd, Dick Arnold, David Sayre, Ford Dean, who taught me botany in Chapacon, and who am I leaving? Oh, cousin Larry Millison. Sort of go out. I grew up across the street in that brick house that Dad sold to Jimmy Raley. So I didn't go very far. I grew up watching the, they call them pleas, but the junior Naval Academy used to practice. They should take over the road and do their march right down the road. So I have a long history. When I was assistant, I worked with Ernie Bell, who was a county attorney. And then when I was County Attorney Joe Densford came back from the Peace Corps, and he was the assistant. We all worked out of our own offices. We didn't get any office space. As an assistant county attorney, I was paid $12,000, and then when I became county attorney, gave me a big raise to $15,000. And I got from the county really was a lot of good, productive work and a lot of fun. Great jobs. They gave me some stationery with the county, and then somewhere midway through, they gave me added a line to the Weiner PA line for long distance calls. So I wouldn't have to at least pay for long distance calls. But it was a great job and a lot of fun and a lot of interesting cases actually. So that would be in addition to my service in the state's attorney's office, and that just kind of originated with the Weiner PA. That said, Dorsey's floundering. He was running for his fourth term. Fritz had dropped out of the office and was running. This was in the Democratic primary, and they were facing off in the Democratic primary. And so go help Walter out. And when my father says something, that means go do it. So I went and did it, and we were able to beat Rick in the Democratic primary in '94. And so I joined the state's attorney's office. Then the next time around, Rick saw me walking in front of Dukes. He said, "Weiner, what?" I said, "You come over and help me out in this election, make you deputy state's attorney." That's how things happen. At least it used to. I said, "Well, that sounds pretty good." And Walter wasn't right. And so that's what happened. Then he was elected in '98. There, when I was deputy, of course, being as a good politician Rick was, he always sort of kept promising the second deputy to a variety of other people. So, but anyhow, it was really my pleasure and to serve the people of St. Mary's County. I always regarded the jobs, all those jobs, as service, and I appreciate this award and the recognition. And I think the commissioners and this current group is a good group. And I would say something starting 8 years ago. I think we got 2 people from that group, and the newer ones have been firm supporters of the state's attorney's office, and I recognize that, and it's been a big help. Well, we did have some tight ones before that.
We thank you for all the time you spent with us in the county government.
Okay, let me tell a story.
So a long time St. Mary's County resident myself. It was back probably close to 40 years ago in the early 80s when I got picked for jury duty. And Lord knows I had my Mike Hewitt Service Center, little blue outfit. I got picked every single time. And it wasn't about me, but I got to see a lot of different lawyers ply their trade, is my term. I got to see your dad, Teddy's brother, Teddy, on multiple occasions. And along with a lot of lawyers, along with this guy sitting right here. And the point was, Teddy, I remember the first time I saw him, had this great big afro. And look, it was great. I mean, and he was the youngest of the bunch. But I told him later on, you were the best. You were the most prepared, you were on point, and you sold me. You know, I was sitting on the jury, it was all about I use the term a sales job, and it's about getting you to buy their argument, and he was the best. So, I'm sorry to see you retire. Thank you for all you've done for the state's attorney. You're a good man, Teddy Weiner.
Here, Shelley, I'll take a picture if you want.
Thank you.
Oh, Lena, could you, Lena wants to get her picture with you. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, short story about Lena. Lena's actually a refugee from Vietnam, and I hired her with the state's attorney's office, and she's still there, I hope.
I would like to take this chair, and I promise I will just speak for 3 minutes. I came to this county in 2016. 2017, Mr. Weiner is the one who interviewed me, and I got a job offer. It's been 16 years, and I apologize I come a little bit late today because I'm busy over there. But I got to make it here today because not only Mr. Weiner is the great boss, the one who hired me, but also Mr. Plessy, the one that I support for almost 9 years. I just want to say thank you so much for being my boss. Thank you so much, Mr. Plessy. I don't know what to say, but I just want to let you all know that I'm very grateful to work with these two gentlemen, and I wish you the best for your retirement. As long as I'm still with the county, I promise I will make you both proud, and you will never be disappointed that you select me. Thank you.
Thank you, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Okay, who's got the next one? Got the other one.
Commissioners of St. Mary's County officially commends John E. Polisi for 11 years and 7 months of outstanding, praiseworthy, and dedicated service with St. Mary's County government from May 23rd, 2011 to December 31st, 2022. Through your diligence, dedication, and relentless pursuit of excellence, you have rightfully earned the community's gratitude, respect, and admiration. We hereby express our sincere congratulations on this occasion of your retirement and extend to you best wishes for your future endeavors and ask God's blessing upon you. This date, January 10th, 2023.
First of all, thank you all very much for the recognition. Unlike Ted, I was not born and raised in St. Mary's County. I grew up in a little town in northeastern Maryland, Aberdeen. And I went to the University of Maryland and the University of Baltimore Law School. And then ultimately, I was a law clerk for a circuit judge in Prince George's County, which is a prelude to becoming an attorney and practicing. Some of you may remember back in the day, there was a time when there was a circuit judge here named Philip Dorsey. We have a park named after him. And he retired. And there was a period of time for about a year, year and a half, that there was no circuit judge here in St. Mary's County. My judge was one of 3 judges that regularly came down almost on a weekly basis. And of course, I came with him. I was in a situation, family situation, that I was a single parent with 2 or 3 children, depending on who was visiting. And I met a gentleman named Paul J. Bailey. Some of you may remember him. He was a politician, a lawyer, a farmer, and an advocate of St. Mary's County. And he used to always say to me, St. Mary's County is a wonderful place to live. And I looked around and I decided to leave Prince George's County with my 2 little boys and came here because I knew it would be a good place to raise my sons. And it was, and it worked out. And I not only did this stint with Mr. Fritz as a state's attorney, but when I first came to St. Mary's County in 1973, I worked for a state's attorney named John Bailey. He has a son named Jack, who I think we all know. Then later on, I worked for a period of time for George Sparling, who was state's attorney. So I've been in and out of this prosecution business for a while, and I enjoyed it all and enjoyed mostly helping people out, which is what I learned from Mr. Fritz. who we started together working for George Sparling. And what I really want to say about you gentlemen is my best to you with this upcoming term. And I want to recognize that all during this period of time that I've been with the county, that all the county commissioners have shepherded our county through thick and thin with budget surpluses, good roads, good facilities, good schools, and that's the tribute that I want to pay to you all and wish you the best in the future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all very much.
Lelina, come up.
For Mr. Please, give me 2 minutes. I have just 2 minutes. First, Mr. Please is very hard working attorney. Whenever we have someone need to refill because they are absent, all I have to do is run to Papa John and say, please call for bond hearing. Please take care of this case for me. He always there for me. That's the first thing. Whoever said Mr. Please doesn't work, that's not true. They have to deal with me. The second thing is something very fun that I want to share. Mr. Pleasy, like I said, like a dad, for me that work. There was one time Mr. Pleasy did me to drive him to the hospital. And of course, a lot of people whining about why you not take that Pleasy too much. But when I come there, all the nurses look at me like, who are you? But then when I tell them that I work for Mr. Pleasy and he's available, all the nurses in the hospital treat me like sweetheart. You to retire and enjoy life and relax. And I just wanted to personally say thank you to you because you are the one who teach me and train me and support me and make me one of the best workers in that state. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you all very much.
Best
Thank you for all your
wishes
time,
to
sir.
you.
I'll go where we will. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good seeing you guys. Oops, sorry, I forgot.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, we're going to move right along now into our next phase here. We got some, from the Office of County Attorney, some legislative updates. Doesn't look like John's going to be here, though.
Oh, no, John unfortunately had a family emergency that he had to attend to yesterday.
Good, that's
so
fine.
I'm filling in. So
Good, good,
Buffy
good.
Giddens, Deputy County Attorney.
Okay.
Had John been here, what he would have said is that the General Assembly is going to convene at noon on January 11th for the 2023 legislative session. The session will end on April 10th of 2023, and if anyone wants to give testimony on any of the bills, they can do so either in writing or I think you could go do it orally. I think there's also going to be a hybrid option this year, like over Zoom or one of those platforms. But you have to make sure that you get sign up in advance, at least 2 days in advance, if you want to submit testimony or present testimony. The St. Mary's forwarded 4 bills this year. There was the bond authority bill for public facilities for $56 million, the transfer tax extending the sunset date for 4 years, the gaming events at the senior center, I know that was a very important one, and Chapter 113, sanitary districts from Metcom, the text amendments. There the delegation met and they had a small issue with the bond authority, public facilities bond. They wanted to reduce that from $56 million to about $40 million. And the reasoning behind that had to do with the YMCA, and I can get further into that if you want me to. Outside of that, there was then a last-minute legislative proposal for, from the state's attorney's office for child support, their child support division that had been in the county coffers for a long time. It was a grant-funded position that the state's attorney's office took and ran. They think they want to move that to the state agency for the Department of Social Services, and I know Alexis Zoss is here and can speak to that, but a number of other jurisdictions throughout Maryland, the child support division is within the Department of Social Services and the Department of Human Services with the state. It sort of makes it a more of a one-stop shop for people that are seeking those services. And so there was a proposed bill submitted. I think that was in your agenda packet. And I think that's all I have. Do
So
you have any
just one
questions?
quick question, Buffy.
Sure.
Could you or Alexis kind of explain to me the difference between the Department of Human Service and the Department of Social Services? Which is it going to, the child support services?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
The Department of Human Services is the state agency with oversight.
Get a little closer to the microphone, please. Yeah.
The Department of Human Services is the state agency with oversight of all 24 local departments of social services.
Okay.
The Child Support Administration at the state level rests within Department of Human Services, but of course sets policy, procedure, budget, and so forth for all of the locals.
Okay.
This legislation will, so goes St. Mary's, as over 20 of our brethren in local agencies have done, is combined the legal aspect and the setting of the orders, establishment of paternity that rests in the state's attorney's office with the ongoing enforcement that has been in the departments of social services, combines those now, integrates those into one location under one umbrella locally under the Department of Social Services. I don't know if that clarifies your
does.
question.
It does, it does.
So
yeah.
then to follow on that, one office to another, how does the funding work? Is the county taxpayers still paying for these positions, or is the state taxes,
Yeah.
state revenue now paying for these positions?
The positions for the state's attorney's office have always, of course, supported by the county, but most of that has been reimbursed through federal and state dollars.
Okay.
So I guess you're very interested in this too, as we are putting together budgets. But all of this, of course, we're looking for the legislation to pass that will allow this merge, this integration to occur. It will not be effective until October of this year, when the actual county positions become state positions. So we will be preparing budgets, I think, as usual. But as you review those, know that in October there'll be a significant change. But in terms of impact to the county budget, again, and I don't know how much actual county dollars are involved after the federal and state reimbursement. So that can be something that we, of course, get to you as we spend more time on the budget.
I think I read somewhere where it was a 60-40% split.
Yeah, 66-33.
Yeah, something like that.
But 66 is federal.
It's federal.
The state picks up right much of that other match, is my understanding.
Ms. Voss.
Yes, sir.
Two words you used, effective and impactful. So tell me, if other municipalities are going to this, other counties, then it must be effective, or has it, the first question would be, has that been an effective change? Has that made it better? And secondly, the impact on the citizens or the people who use those services. What should they expect? They'll, instead of going to state's attorney, they'll be going to
Yes.
social services?
Yes. Now, of course, the state's attorney's piece of this, some of that ends up in court. So but I will say, for the citizen, will be coming to one place for their initial contacts, for the most of their work, for actually after their case has been established, they're used to coming to the department anyway for ongoing services. So it's the initial part of their
They'll be
case.
streamlining the process
Yes.
then?
Now, they were still, if they need to be in court, they will, of course, have to go down to the Leonardtown Court.
Okay, but will
for
the state's
customer,
attorney?
It's very seamless behind the scenes.
Good.
After we get through a period of public relations, communication plan, letting them know about this change.
Will the state's attorney still have to be the lawyer's representative? I know you have at least one lawyer, if not more. Will you have the lawyer part of it, or will the state's
Yes,
attorney?
we will have that attorney. We will have that attorney who does the legal part of that initial setup.
So
of
that
the
burden's
case.
relieved from the state's attorney?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions, Commissioners? Need a motion?
All right, I move to support the request of the state's attorney's office to support legislation pursuant to Section 10-117 of the Family Law Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland to transfer all employees of the Child Support Unit of the Office of the State's Attorney for St. Mary's County to the Child Support Administration of the Department of Human Services, and to approve and authorize Commissioner President to sign letters of support to the delegation and to House and Senate committees for hearings on these bills.
Second.
I got a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you all very much for that.
So one other quick thing, Buffy, since John isn't here, but to start with our fun legislative process, could you add to the list of bills that you all are tracking? I believe it's Senate Bill 103. It's sponsored by Senator Ellis from our neighbor up north. It is a Maryland residential solar investment tax credit. My understanding of the bill, not having read it, is that it would provide an additional income tax rebate to homeowners who put solar panels on their roofs in addition to the federal tax benefits. And from what I was told, there's nothing else with the bill, so it would be a good thing for our citizens and it would be a good thing for our county. So,
Sure.
want to track it. Thank you.
Ms. Giddens, before you leave, the part about the bond authority,
Good to bring that up.
what I wanted to understand is, so the delegation is going to exclude the $15 million bond for the YMCA?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason they're going to do that is because,
They are hoping that will get the YMCA to leverage other funding opportunities from the state and federal grants before looking to the county as a primary contributor.
okay. Well, then, I know we have an agreement with the YMCA that talks to different things being in place before they'll do fundraising. And would you know if the delegation is in receipt of that agreement so they know what we've agreed to?
I would have to look into that and get back to you on that.
Okay, and secondly, I saw an email that said that they would be sending us a letter. I didn't see it in today's packet. Have we received a letter from them outlining how this will work?
The delegation.
That the delegation would be sending you a letter? I don't know, and I will, I'll look into that, and if there's a letter, I'll forward it on. But John might have the answer, but I don't know. I'm sorry.
My understanding is that Mr. Hauser did in fact forward the agreement at least to Delegate Morgan, I believe, Delegate Matt Morgan, sorry, I got to get used to that. And the letter we have not received as of today from the delegation.
So at this point, the YMCA bond authority will not be in this year's legislation?
That's my understanding of what they're saying, but my understanding is we weren't looking to give it, it wasn't looking to be in until next year anyway, until next fiscal year.
Well, let's just say
Right.
we have to do the A&E.
Right.
So
right.
the A&E usually takes a year, and then we usually follow on.
And that part's been
But
funded.
we will have some part of this up in the air, if that's the term. So, and that's the part I'm a little concerned about.
Certainly.
Yeah, I share that concern, and I think for full transparency's sake, it's important that we point out that the delegation has, at this point in time, decided not to put forward our bond authority request for that even though it was approved by this board.
In full, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, when you get the letter, let us know.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we go right into county administrator time.
Thank you, Commissioner President Guy. As everyone knows, next week is a holiday, so the commissioners are not meeting on the 17th. Draft agendas for January 24th and January 31st. On the 24th will be the joint meeting of St. Mary's County and St. Mary's County Board of Education here in this room at 9 a.m. 10:30 you'll adjourn and then start your regular meeting with a proclamation for National Mentoring Month, accommodation for Mr. Gillingham's retirement, and then the College of Southern Maryland will come for their State of the College, followed by County Administrator time, Commissioner time, and then adjourn. And then on January 31st, you'll have an 8:30 reception for boards, commissions, and committees. At 9 o'clock will be the invocation and pledge. You'll have a proclamation for Transit Equity Day. And then you'll meet as the St. Mary's County Board of Health, followed by County Administrator time, Commissioner time, adjourn, and then you'll have your very first public forum at 6:30 here in this room. And to start today's, we have Department of Finance and Board of Education request approval of a budget amendment to the fiscal year 2023 unrestricted and CIP budgets. Ms. Jeanette Cudmore presenting, and I see Ms. McCourt and company coming.
Yes.
Dr. Jaffers.
Dr. Jaffers,
Good morning,
yes.
Commissioners. I have with me, the Board of Education. I've got Tammy McCourt and Dr. Alex Jeffers to review the first one, which is on, which is the first one, additional funds, request approval of the budget amendment to FY 2023 unrestricted and CIP budgets. Tammy?
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to present this morning. I believe that you are all provided a copy of the presentation.
If you could please speak directly into the microphone. Thank you.
Will the presentation be pulled up on the screen?
I only received one presentation for the school safety grant.
Okay.
My apologies.
We have copies of it.
They have copies of
Okay,
it in their
fantastic,
package.
thank you. So on the first slide, what you see is that we had an adopted budget for fiscal year 2022 of $242.2 million with actual expenses of $238.5 million. Therefore, we expended 98.5% of the funds last fiscal year. Of the $3.7 million that were remaining, as you can see on slide 2, we immediately put $2 million back into the current year's adopted budget. We're requesting that the remaining funds immediately put back to use for this school district. Next slide, please. Specifically for use of the Great Mills High School press box in the amount of $250,000. This press box was originally built in 1995, and we're looking for a state bond of $100,000 to assist in supporting the $350,000 cost. We're also requesting funding of $220,000 to support playgrounds at Green Holly Elementary School, Greenview Knolls Elementary School, and Letty Marshall Dent Elementary School. $575,000 to support the Chopticon High School gym floor and bleachers, and that was last refurbished in 1997. $595,000 to support the technology refresh, specifically for 6th and 9th grade. $24,000 to support the Greenview Knolls fire tank supply replacement, which is currently 51 years old. And $60,000 to support a portable air tiller. Next slide, please. Specifically, we're looking for a $1.7 million increase to our revenues for the use of fund balance. And on the expenditure side, that allocation would be a capital outlay CIP transfer of $1,045,000 for the press box, playground, gym floor, and bleachers. $84,000 to our maintenance category for the fire tank supply and air chiller, and $595,000 for the materials of instruction. So a total expenditure outlay of $1.7 million. And then an offsetting adjustment for our CIP fund of $1,045,000 to support the Great Mills High School press box, playgrounds, and Chopticon High School gym floor and bleachers. So at this time, I ask for your approval or any questions that you may have.
Just one question, Tammy. The looks like the largest amount of your fund balance came from instructional salaries. Is that vacancies?
That is correct, yes.
Majority vacancies?
Yes.
So what we should expect is hopefully you'll fill your vacancies. That's,
I mean, we're all struggling with it.
That's all absolutely our desire. We're currently sitting with 35 instructional vacancies across the school district.
okay, that's what I was going to ask you. You currently have 35?
Yes.
That's not bad.
No, we have worse than that. But I guess my thought, Ms. McCourt, is, but you're using these for one-time expenses that I have to agree will improve the quality of life for students, their parents, people who go to their games, and I like to see Chapticon getting new bleachers. That sounds good. I've sat in those bleachers.
Thank you.
The point is, this is good. I'm glad. I'm going to move to approve the Board of Education's request for an FY 2023 categorical budget amendment of fund balance in the amount of $1,724,000, the interfund transfer of $1,045,000 from operating to CIP, and authorize the Commissioner President to sign any related documents.
Second.
I've got a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Commissioners. And next up, also from the Department of Finance, the Board of Education, is the request for approval of additional funds from School Safety Grant. Dr. Joffries is getting replaced by Mr. Wyatt.
Thank you, Dave. Yes. Dr. Wyatt?
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So this is a continuing process as we continue to work and commit to our improving security for all of our schools. As I've been before you before, we are seeking every single grant opportunity we can find. This is this year's round of the School Safety Grant Budget Program. It was actually created by House Bill, next slide please, I'm sorry, House Bill 1783. It's intended to improve the safety and security for students and staff in all Maryland public schools. The grant allows for school security improvements, including but not limited to secure and lockable classroom doors for each classroom in the school, areas of safe refuge in each classroom, and surveillance and other security technology for school monitoring. The grant award for this particular round is $196,761, and it was awarded by the Maryland Center for School Safety on October 18th, 2022. The grant period for this grant is July 1, 2022 through December 29, 2023. We proposed and have received approval for the funding for security vestibule stations at Dinard Elementary School and Oakville Elementary School, door locks and access control at Margaret Brent Middle School and Hollywood Elementary, and enhanced cellular amplification at James A. Forrest Career and Technology Center, Chopticon, Leonardtown, and Great Mills. That is primarily as a result of our lessons learned from our 2018 incident regarding our family assistance centers and reunification process. When we have 4,000 guests join us on campus, our network systems are taxed. So we have the ability now to increase those communications for parents and family members who are seeking to be reunited with their loved ones. The increase to the FY 2023 restricted fund budget, revenue budget, state grant increase of $196,761, and the expenditures will be in Category 10 increase of $196,761. Requesting that the County Commissioners approve this agenda item as presented. Any questions? Thank you.
I have a question regarding, and I don't want to know the names of them, because I don't want anybody to know which ones they are. Do we have any schools that don't have these security, I guess, procedures or precautions? I mean, we have, what, 24 schools?
Actually, a little more, a few more sites than that's counted, Mr. Ewing.
There's still some schools who
We
do
are
not
in
have
progress.
vestibule.
Currently we have 10 that are, we're still building the security vestibules for. There is a standard operating procedure that was created, an expectation when we met in 2018 post-incident.
Sure.
And we committed to building these security vestibules, and we have been moving forward ever since. Some of them are very easy fixes because of the construction of the schools, and some have, quite frankly, created a situation where we've had to kind of rebuild the front entrance to the building, and we're getting into the more complicated ones now. Happy to report that if with this grant, and we have a second round of grant funding that I should be presenting to you very soon. We just received the notification of award yesterday. Going into school year 2024, we will have 5 schools that are remaining to be completed.
I would ask you, this is just this commissioner speaking to you.
Yes, sir.
Get on those 5 schools. We may have a little bit extra money to help you with one-time expenses like that. And this would be, I mean, what we got going on in this country and what we've,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Even most recently this past weekend.
well, this thing in Texas with someone, propped the door and, well, I don't want to go there. Bottom line is that this is very important to us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I did have one other question.
Yes, sir.
In reading this, the grant allows for improvements including but not limited to secure lockable classroom doors for each classroom and areas of safe refuge in each classroom. Can you expand on what that exactly is apart from just locking the door?
It's a great question. There's actually 2 components to that. So we have to allow for, within the building itself, a code requires that we have areas of safe refuge for individuals that cannot evacuate the building and that are rated for certain fire provisions for a response time for the fire department to get there. But in addition to that, in an emergency response where there's an active assailant situation, the principles of covering concealment for every single classroom and space that's occupied by an individual are things that are allowable expenses under this. So, different things like making sure that for example, the observation windows that are covered and that there's barriers and things like that. One of the things that we've used is to fortify, or lesson learned from Parkland, was the glass in those doors, the classroom observation windows. We've now put ballistic laminate, or we're moving forward with ballistic laminate on all the interior glass.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Just one thing from me, just want to highlight the good partnership between the school system and our sheriff's office. And we just saw, I think just within the past week, our new sheriff recommitting to the SRO program and expansion of that. And if you have any thoughts about that or comments.
100%. I am so proud of the relationship we have with them. I will say it's second to none in the state of Maryland, and probably nationally. We were selected many years ago as a model program of the Department of Justice to come down and help as part. They looked at our MOUs and helped us draft model MOUs that were used as for the Justice Department nationwide. We continue that process. The commitment to the elementary school SRO is a huge step forward, as well as one of the big things is we need security personnel for our elementary schools. It's already been referenced about Uvalde, Texas. Very demonstrative about that. There have been many other instances where that frontline person at the door has intervened and stopped, or at least made immediate notification, because as we all know, seconds matter in that situation. And unfortunately, it's sad to report, but we all know that elementary schools are not immune to the level of violence that's occurring. So I would appreciate any help we can get with that.
Good. Anything else, commissioners? Need a motion?
I move to approve the Board of Education's request of a FY 2023 categorical budget amendment for the assignment of fund balance in the amount of $196,761 for additional funds from the school safety grant, and authorize the Commissioner President to sign any related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you
all very much.
Thank you. Next up, Commissioners, is from the Department of Economic Development, Director Chris Castellamus, presenting on the Agricultural Land Preservation Program recertification, and Ms. Sue Veith in the audience.
Thank you, Mr. Weiskopf. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Chris.
As Mr. Weiskopf said, today we're asking Commissioners to sign a letter requesting recertification in the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation Program. In order for St. Mary's to be recertified, the county must submit a request letter and a report. A little background: when an agriculturally assessed property is transferred, the state collects an agricultural transfer tax if the property is removed from agricultural use. The state agricultural transfer tax is 5% of the sale price, or consideration minus the value of the improvements. The state allows the county to retain a portion of the collected agricultural transfer tax to help fund its ag land preservation programs. If a county is certified, like we are, we can retain a higher percentage of the tax collected. So if you're certified, you can keep 75%. If you're not certified, you only get to keep a third of that amount. So in terms of dollars, last fiscal year, the county collected $99,000 in ag transfer tax, and because we're certified, we got to keep $74,000 of that. We've maintained certification since 1995. Our last certification was 2017, so it's every 5 years. In your packet, you'll see a letter supporting this from the county's Ag, Seafood, and Forestry Board. And as an FYI, we actually already submitted the report to them, and they've already approved it, so if the letter comes through, they'll recertify us. And just a little bit more background just about our land preservation program in general. We have a very robust program, as you guys know. In addition to the MALF program, this program, we also have the Rural Legacy Area program. All these programs help maintain our rural character. They keep farmland as farmland. They help with encroachment issues with Pax River Naval Air Station. And the county does contribute quite a lot annually to these programs, but the funds are heavily leveraged. For the MALF program, the county allocates $1.3 million per year, but the state provides $2 million, so it's much more than we do, for a total of $3.3 million. For the Rural Legacy Area program, the county allocates $1,050,000 per year, but that's matched by the state. They're putting in $1,050,000, and the federal government under the REPI program puts in twice that amount, $2.1 million. So again, $4.2 million for that program for our $1 million. So heavily leveraged.
Very good.
And that's all I've got for today.
I move to submit a letter and a report to the Maryland Department of Planning for the recertification of the county's Maryland Agriculture Land Preservation Foundation program and have the Commissioner President sign all related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any disapproval? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
President.
Commissioners, last up is from the Office of the County Administrator to approve the employment contract of the Jurisdictional Medical Director. And Mr. Steve Walker is here as well. He was on the interview panel along with Ms. Catherine Pratson, and they put forth what looks like an exceptionally qualified individual, Mr. Finkelstein. Sure, come on up.
Just a couple important things I think you really need to hear. That as we did the selection process, the Rescue Squad Association, Mr. Sean Davison, the chief.
Microphone, Steve.
Microphone.
As we did our selection process, a couple of the members on the board, Sean Davison, the chief of the Rescue Squad Association, was an active participant and is in concurrence, as well as the state medical director, Dr. Tim Chismar. Dr. Finkelstein is the interim jurisdictional medical director in Calvert County right now. I think that will continue. That actually is a great benefit to us. He brings a whole lot to the table. I think he is going to be very, very good for our community. And again, I would also ask that you approve the contract so we can move forward on it.
So just for anyone watching so they understand, the jurisdictional medical director, Dr. Chismar, has been serving in that role as acting for us, right?
He has.
And this is the doctor that holds the medical license that our EMS personnel work under, is that correct?
That is correct, and his job is really, it's very important to us. He ensures that all of our emergency medical technicians, paramedics, are following state mandated protocols under Maryland COMAR. It's a very dynamic situation in that if, for example, if there was a violation or something that was suspected in violation of protocols, he would address that. Interesting enough, if they're a county employee, I do not, unless he comes back and says that this person can no longer be certified. Then it comes to me and Ms. Pratson with an HR issue. So it's an interesting dynamic. He will be working very closely with the EMS chief and all of the rescue chiefs. So it really is a very important position. He has some really neat things that he does. What he does is every person that wants to work for us or work in rescue squads must receive his blessing. He has to say, you can serve in St. Mary's County. If he doesn't, they don't get to perform here. But what I like about what he does in Calvert is he takes each of those candidates, puts them in his vehicle, and goes out and watches them perform for a number of hours before he will give them the blessing. This is good for our community. This is good for our citizens. There's absolutely, I'm very excited to see this guy come on, and I'm looking forward to working with him. So again, I would certainly ask that you let us move forward with this young man. I think he's think is going to be good for us.
Now, he does more than St. Mary's County. He does
Calvert.
work for us, right?
Correct.
So he does the bi-counties.
He does. Great benefit in that, because now,
I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but he does Calvert and St. Mary's.
correct.
Okay, not Charles.
No, it does not.
Okay.
But again, those two counties, that's a great partnership with us. So we'll be doing a lot more very similar in the way we do it, because each one has their own little. But this is really a great thing for us to be able to do that, where we know us and Calvert are going to be on the same page. So
Well, I'm going to support this, but sometime in the future, maybe you can bring him to introduce him to us.
I actually would like to do that, and again, we did that with our shelter manager. I think that's a great idea. I think you guys all need to know him. So.
Okay, any other questions? Need a
I
motion?
move to approve the employment agreement with Jason P. Finkelstein as a jurisdictional medical director for St. Mary's County and authorize the commissioner-president to sign the related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. And Commissioner President Guy, that ends county administrator time.
Okay. Well, we'll move right into commissioner's time, and we'll start with Commissioner Hewitt today.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner President. Well, hope you had a great Christmas or holiday season. I think that's the appropriate term these days. Lord knows it's been 3 weeks since we've been here, and it seems like a long time, and it is a long time. Glad to get back to work. We had the MACO conference, the Winter MACO conference over the last week, and one of the reasons we weren't here last week. But the point is that heard from the new governor. Very interesting speech he gave to the group, and met with a lot of state people up there, a lot of other county people. And look, we're all dealing with the same issues. Vacancies. We cannot fill our vacancies. The loss of the stimulus money, the money that's been flowing freely for the last couple of years, is now drying up. The stock market has turned down. Our investments are producing less. But we have the demands of people wanting more. Now, I want to say to you, if you're not asking for what you need, you're not doing your job. But I'm not going to say you're going to get what you need or what you think you need. So you have to temper it with, we need to find people to fill our vacancies. It's been said we have close to 100. Now, we can't provide the services unless we have the people there to do that work. This commissioner will be looking to somehow fill those vacancies. That'll be a priority for me. It'll be my top priority, is that we look at whether they be benefits, whether they be salary, whether they be some type of tax incentive. We need to fill our vacancies. The other thing we need to do, in my opinion, is we need to fix the LoSAP issue. Our LoSAP for our volunteers has not been adjusted since 2006, I'm told. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm told that by people who know that, and I believe them. We need our volunteers to come back. We need the ones that we have to be appreciated or feel more appreciated, and we need to address the discrepancy in LoSAP benefits as compared to Calvert County and Charles County. Because unless we get some equalization of those benefits, we're going to continue to lose valuable volunteers. So that'll be another thing for this commissioner looking forward. Now, I know many agencies are going to need more help. They're going to need more money. They're going to need more hardware. They're going to need, look, there's going to be a lot of needs. But I want to say we're going to do the best we can, given what we have. We know that the real estate market is cooling off dramatically. The transfer and recordation tax money that we've been appreciating may not be there in the next couple of years. We've seen high increases in the assessment values, but that does not mean we will see that much more additional tax revenues. I believe it's a good move to do something to help the elderly, the poor, the working poor, people on fixed income, And I'm going to push for a reduction in the homestead tax and elimination of the energy tax. Now, I'm only one commissioner, but I believe there's a lot of pain going around from the inflation we've felt over the last year or 2 years. And today we start our budget work sessions again. Please tune in. It starts at 1:30. Understand, we want to provide everything everybody needs, and we're very sensitive to doing that, but we just can't do it all. So, thank you.
Eric.
Very good. So I had a great time at the MACO Winter Conference last week. I want to give congratulations to Commissioner President Guy, who was reelected to the MACO Board of Directors. It's really good for our county and the rural counties all around the state that we have Commissioner Guy on that board representing us there. I always enjoy the MACO conferences. I'm glad that all of the commissioners were able to attend this time because it's just a lot of good conversation, a lot of good information, and a lot of good insight into what's coming down the pipe for us. This coming weekend, this Monday, is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and St. Mary's College is again hosting an in-person prayer breakfast, so it's open to the public. The breakfast starts at 6:30, and there's a $10 if you want to eat breakfast there. There's a program that starts at 8 a.m. at St. Mary's College, and this event is, one of the co-sponsors is our own St. Mary's County Commission on Human Relations. So it's something that this board sponsors, so we are excited that that's happening and in person again, and we are looking forward to that, so I'm glad they're able to do that. As Commissioner Hewitt said, we have budget work session this afternoon. It's going to be a good budget work session. We've got a long way to go in developing our budget, but we're taking some big strides this afternoon and just setting the groundwork, so that's good. I want to end with prayers go out to a little girl in our community, Lakeland Draheim. I saw this on Facebook. I was invited by some people I know. There's a community gathering and prayer service happening this Thursday evening at 6 p.m. at Leonardtown High School. This young girl has a cancerous brain tumor, and the community's just going to rally around the family. If you're able to attend and support, I'm sure they would appreciate seeing you there, but our prayers go out to this family during this troubling, difficult time. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Alderson.
I want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I want to concur with Commissioners Hewitt and Colvin and say that MACO was a fantastic experience. It was quite the information overload on the second day. First day was pretty easy. It was just the newly elected guys. But I like to think that I've made a lot of connections throughout the state, and you got a really in-depth view on what various state agencies and county agencies do and how they can intertwine to work for the good of the counties. In fact, I think I made one particular connection that may have direct economic impact on the county. I should know something on that within the next week or so. And being able to interact with other county administrators, other commissioners, other council members throughout the state really opens up your eyes once you get out of the bubble of St. Mary's County of just how much we're all struggling with vacancies and trying to find people to fill these jobs. Like Commissioner Hewitt said, we're going to keep striving to fill these positions to serve the county. And I also want to share my congratulations with Commissioner President Guy and another round as Board of Director. It is quite the, like I said, it's quite the event, and not a whole lot of talk of politics between parties, but a lot of how can we do what's best for our individual counties. And something to pass on to our Rec and Parks Department. I was talking to Liz Fitzsimmons, who is the State Director of Tourism. She had nothing but praise for our park system in this county and is really looking forward to coming down and seeing our new waterfront parks, and say that she's very happy that there's counties in this state who are opening up waterfront parks. And I encourage all of you to go out there and visit all of our parks and especially our 2 new waterfront ones as soon as they are open. And I look forward to a prosperous, strong year for 2023 for St. Mary's County. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ostro.
I'd also like to chime in about Mako. It was absolutely an amazing experience, especially for a newly elected official like myself. Just the opportunity to gather together in the same room and hear the things that are going on in other counties, and know that, you know, sometimes you kind of get the feeling that, you know, we're kind of all alone here. We're the only county that's having these problems. But to hear that other counties are having the same problems that we are, and to be able to share some collaborative ideas on how they're addressing things, things that we can take home and possibly put to work for us, I think is just an amazing time. So I very much enjoyed that, and I very much look forward to the summer Mako session as we progress through the year. Also, extend my congratulations to Commissioner President Guy as well for being reelected to the board for Mako. Wonderful organization, and one that I think benefits all the counties that are involved with it. Myself also looking forward to a great new year here in St. Mary's County. I know we have some struggles that we are going to be looking at. We do have some very serious issues to look at within our budget. As Commissioner Hewitt stated, money is drying up, stimulus money and things like that, but we're fortunate we have been led for many years by an excellent Board of County Commissioners, and I think we are in very good position because we have some savings in the bank. We can do some wonderful things with that, but we do need to be very careful so we continue to be prosperous here. And we are going to be starting our budget work session again today. We're going to be laying the groundwork for that, as Commissioner Colvin stated, and we're going to be looking at ways to make sure that everybody has what they need. On another note, Christmas was a wonderful time this year, and I have here probably the greatest gift that I have ever received from my wonderful daughter, Kelly Ostro. A little shout out to you, my dear. And I wanted to share this with all my other commissioners. My daughter gave me this wonderful engraved pen, which actually says right here, "Coolest Commish." So you guys all know that I am officially now and forever the coolest commish. There we go. Thank you very much, and hope everybody has a great week.
Thank you, Scott. That was very good. Coolest commission. I like that. Thank you, Commissioner, for everything. I welcome the new year coming up. Things are changing still for us after all the COVID things and stuff like that. I know the whole country has changed, and I will have a shout out to everybody out there. If you know somebody who needs a job, please apply to St. Mary's County. If you're a school teacher, please apply to our school teachers, because we got 35 vacancies there. We got almost 100 in our county, and we pay well, great benefits. You can't find anything any better. So I think you need to really look seriously at what you're doing now and check with our county. A shout out also to Mako. I work hard at it because Mako, just to give you a little idea of what they do, is they monitor bills and legislation that's going through the House and Senate. And for the rest of the general session coming up, which starts here this week, we meet every Wednesday morning to discuss bills that impact actually all the 23 counties in the city of Baltimore. My part in it is that I also work with, we started years ago, the Rural Coalition of Counties. We meet Monday afternoon to discuss bills that are going to affect the rural counties. Quite often, there's some of the bigger counties that don't think nothing about putting a bill in, and all of a sudden it affects us. And what we do is, we can't always defeat a bill, but we can do amendments to it and put the language in so it doesn't bite us so hard. And because it does sometimes, and we have no other choice but to accept it. But then with this rural coalition that we have, we're able to put in amendments, sometimes even defeat bills that do more harm to us than good. So it's a process. We use Mako as our, you might say, rather than having to pay some kind of individual to work for us. MEDCO does that job for us in the legislature. And I realized how important it was. When I first year, I didn't understand it too much, but after that, I realized that it's a very important function of our county to have them representing us. And I've been I tell people, so how do you get these positions? Well, I was more active. I went to every meeting. When it came to the board of directors, I said, sure, I'd like to be a part of it. So, and that's gone on over the years, and I believe in them, and they help us, and that's the big thing. So I want to make sure we continue doing that. A shout out to the Leonardtown Fire Department. Had a good swearing-in ceremony for their new officers, and congratulations to all of those. I was really impressed over the number of young people that were involved. Thank you guys and gals for joining the fire department and being a part of it. The volunteerism in our county is extremely strong, and I hope it will continue. I want to see it continue to grow, and our fire departments are in dire need to continue this. I was glad when I came 16 years old in the fire department of Ridge Volunteer Fire Department. I couldn't wait to get in there, and I'd like to see more active people involved in that. With that said, I'd need a motion to enter into closed session.
I move to enter into closed session to discuss litigation, real property, and personnel.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it. We'll take a break now to go into closed session.